Like, you're never wrong.
That's what I need my girlfriends to say. See, that's why things don't work out. See, you didn't do all the drugs I did. That's not fair.
That's right. That's exactly why. What food makes you fart the most?
That was the one.
This is what you were hoping I would say?
No. Here's the deal.
Not today, pal. Not today.
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
You have no idea what's about to happen.
I have no idea. I am so here for the ride. I'm so excited, though. Look at our set.
This is
This is us.
to the guys who did this. This
Yes.
is, I mean,
Really briefly, just thank you to the people
so much.
that have worked so hard on this.
I'm so happy.
In case anyone forgot, I'm 4 years older than Rob.
Yeah.
I'm older. You will always remember.
I feel like there were so many ways I was thinking of starting the show, and I feel like we just have to address the elephant in the room, which is I lost $1,000 to Nadav.
You sure fucking did, pal.
What happened?
Rob made an oopsie.
Rob made an
Very
oopsie.
rare.
Rob made an oopsie.
Very rare.
What'd you say, Annie?
I said get bodied. That's what we say.
Yeah. There was a young black NBA player who was playing basketball against a older white man with 2 bad knees who recently had heart surgery. And I thought it would be a good idea to bet on the white man who recently had heart surgery. And it turns out not a good idea.
I'm confused.
Listen, usually I make good bets. I don't know what happened.
No, you don't.
It was, listen.
Every lock you've given me has been unlocked.
Dude, it was one time, and it was because you're a mush, and you took it.
No, I built a parlay around it. That was the only thing. Look, dude, never forget.
That's not what happened.
That is what happened.
No, it's not.
The one thing I can't speak for is Rob. Well, like, hey, he's a phenomenal poker player.
Thank you.
He's an incredible decision maker.
Thank
but
you.
as far as betting, I can't vouch for him because he does it a lot with my husband. And I have chosen to stay far away from that for a reason. We're not broke, so I know it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But I really stay far away. And that's really what's bonded you and Cutter.
Yeah, for sure. We strictly talk
Yeah,
about
you told me, you're
gambling.
like, when it's football season, we really don't talk. When it's not football season, you don't talk all that much.
It's way less. My phone's buzzing during football season.
Yeah, you're an answered prayer for him.
But so what happened was Ennie here played basketball against Ryan, who works here, and he's like, so the reason I bet is because Ryan's like, I play basketball all the time. Religiously, that was a word I remember hearing.
Okay.
And then Ennie's like, I don't play. Like, I don't really know whatever.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, seems like it's a good, and Nadav wants to bet, and I think it's good for, content. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's, throw I was excited to do it. As soon as I walked into the gymnasium, this is not exaggerating at all. Half of the court was lit up and bright and gorgeous, and that's where Ennie was draining every shot he took. And then the other half was dim. The lights were not on, and Ryan was over there doing something.
Spielberg directed it. It just sounded like, wow.
And it was because they were filming on the side that he was on, so all the lights were there, and it really looked great, and it was so light, and everyone was like...
I thought you were saying that's just how it seemed.
No.
It was legit lit
it was
filming. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to say congratulations to Ennie.
Congrats.
Appreciate you.
It was I go to a gym here that has a basketball court. You were better than any of the guys I see on the basketball court. It was
a shark.
No, you're being nice.
Dude, being nice. I lost $1,000. I want to be mean right now. This is me. Dude, you were nasty. As soon as I saw you shooting, I was like, I'm toast. So I figured one of the first things we could do on the show is it's for Ennie, and we know if there's 2 things Ennie loves, it's practicing his jumper and strip clubs.
Practicing his jumper?
His jump shot.
Oh.
So I was driving by a strip club the other day. Ennie loves strip clubs. I was driving by a strip club the other day, and I thought of my friend, and I'm like, oh man, I wonder if he would like that place. So I'm like, let me check the reviews on Yelp and see what this place is like, and if I should recommend it to my friend. So Jamie, if you can, please read this Yelp review. And this is 100% legit. I could show you guys where it is. This is so real. And
this is a 5-star review. Is that what that means when there's all those? Okay.
And it's like 10 minutes away. So Ennie, you're in luck if you like it.
Okay. This is from Carter C, 5 stars. It's hard not to appreciate a strip club posting almost all 1-star reviews. It's not every club you can meet a dancer with a bullet wound. Have a fetish for burn scars, amputees. Previously, you had limited options, but that's all changed now with the lineup at... Is that what it's called?
Yeah, we might want to bleep the name because that might be a
Okay.
little...
We'll
bleep the name. But this is 100% legit.
This is offensive. If you...
Yes.
If you've never heard a gal ask if you want a handy with one of those throat cancer survivor voice buzzers, you haven't lived. For an extra $50, you can use the tracheotomy for anything you want. Imagine that. This is not real.
Jamie, this is 100% real.
You'll never get correct change. Numbers just aren't their thing. But after seeing this place, there hasn't been any change in a while. Our dancer broke her hip getting on the stage. Like a trooper, though, she finished her set. Rather than cash, she accepted a frosty, cold Ensure drink. What a deal. Not the white liquid she was expecting, but still overjoyed given the fall. Oh my gosh. Don't go with a large group of people. Can't fit too small. The bathrooms in a Puerto Rican nightclub are bigger. Cleaner, too.
Which is interesting. The bathrooms at a Puerto Rican nightclub.
Are bigger. That's very specific.
Yeah, right? I didn't know
I didn't think Austin was
specifically-
known for their Puerto Rican nightclubs.
No. Well, maybe that's why they're really small and making the bathroom even smaller.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very rare. and
Annie, what do
small.
you think of that spot? Does it sound like something you're looking for?
You know, I probably won't go, but I mean, it did say what did the strippers had like? What is it, a paraplegic fetish or some shit? Maybe Ryan wants to go.
It just
'cause,
sounds like
he's
there's
like kinda
something
limping
for
around with that
everyone.
foot. Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds like something for everyone.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So,
So he
you
might
know.
want to go.
Also sounds like their only 5-star review, according to this gentleman.
Yeah, it was full of 1 stars. And it sure was. And
I would-
everybody was like, and like claims of they're racist. They charged, X amount on my credit card when I only bought like 1 drink and it was like thousands of dollars. Crazy. A very entertaining thing to do, by the way. Go and look at
I
strip
bet.
clubs
I was going
review
to
on
say,
Yelp.
who knew there was Yelp reviews? There really are Yelp reviews for everything, aren't
Everything. And they're pretty good. And some of them have a great sense of humor.
there? Yeah,
apparently.
clearly.
So do you remember any of the titles we were going to call this show?
A few.
Which
Sweet and
one's
sour.
Sweet and Sour is...
How you doing? No.
We're Talking Here was one.
We're talking here. Forget about it.
No, we didn't really
No.
talk. Somebody else did that. But Friends and Family I liked.
Friends and family.
But here's the thing. It's like when we're looking for a title, we want it to be something where like when you Google it, will come up. Where like if you Google Sweet and Sour, it's just going to be like recipes
Sure.
and stuff like that. So we decided on Not Today, Pal. But we're going to stick with the Sweet and Sour. And one of the things that was a segment that we're going to do,
Okay,
Sweet and
like
Sour.
it.
And it's going to be people writing in, sending videos and stuff like that, asking us to decide what they should do about situations in their life.
So they'll get sweet and sour advice.
Right. And that's where we kind of were going with this set, where it's like, you have a very sweet, and the way you handle things in life tends to be more on the sweet side, and you're very thoughtful, where I can be more on the sour side and just kind of, and I think both of us at times want to be more like the other. Like, I
yes.
think sometimes you need to be able to like put your foot down and
Yes.
stop taking shit, where
Yes.
I'm like, I need to be more thoughtful, especially in like romantic relationships and like stuff like
Yeah.
that. Cause it gets like,
You're just very matter of fact about things. Like you're never wrong. Like in the
What?
sense of like I understand.
that's what I need my girlfriends to say. See, that's why things don't work out.
I understand your reasoning is always very logical and very real. But I have to remind you that sometimes like emotions and feelings aren't logical. And feelings aren't necessarily always wrong. They come up because of a million other things that have happened to you in your life. So sometimes I would like you to be more patient and caring around people's reactions as opposed to logical. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And I think,
But you're not wrong. You're just not
no, I listen.
sensitive
I'm
sometimes.
definitely wrong a lot too. But like, I think also in life there are times where you need to be able to handle things in a sour way and in a bad way, and then there's times where you need to be like when I see you with your kids and I see how sweet you are, where it's like, oh, I remember when stuff like that was happening when I was growing up, and it was like you would just get yelled at. Where you're like, well, what I do is I drop down to be on their level.
Can I give you an example of when I was just sour with my kids?
Oh yes, please.
Okay. So we're on our last road trip, sports road trip. of the season for my son's lacrosse team. We've also done baseball. I'm telling you, every weekend of my life from February until this last weekend in June pretty much has been all around sports. I don't mind it. I love it. He loves to play. I like all the other families. I love to watch
but you're
it.
driving to like Alabama.
Correct.
Insane.
Correct.
Insane.
We are the best. But so we're driving to Dallas this past Friday, and Cutter's car, he has a really nice Tahoe, new, less than a year old, starts like clunking a little bit.
Ooh.
And then his computer on the screen starts being like front axle out, rear axle out, like saying basically the car is broken. So he's like, should I pull over? I'm like, yeah. It's now, okay, let me also give you context. It's 110 degrees and it's 6 p.m. So most things are probably closed. He pulls over onto this grass field where there's a tractor like 100 yards away doing its thing. And he shuts the car off and goes to turn it back on, and it won't turn on. 30 minutes, we're trying, praying, it won't turn on. Now our kids are starting to like ask what's going on. They're looking up from their iPads. They're a little sweaty.
And your son has something we call nervous poops.
And my youngest son has nervous poopies where any kind of, whether it's exciting things or nervous things, it makes him have to poop 75 times a day. So now he's looked up from the iPad and is like, I gotta poop. I'm like, okay. So let me try to move this story along. We do the OnStar. There's no tow truck coming within 3 hours. I write of a girlfriend of mine that's husband owns car dealerships, and she's like, I can send you a car from Dallas, but it won't be there for like 2.5 hours. I'm like, you're my savior. Thank you so much. So Cutter's idea is let me stay here and wait for the tow truck. You Uber with the boys to the Chevy dealership to see if we can do something. So this Uber comes, this young kid comes, he's driving us. And as we're driving, massive lightning, thunder, like we're hearing it and we can see it coming closer. He proceeds to think it's a good idea to tell both my kids that Waco was once leveled by tornadoes in the 50s and they get tornadoes all the time. And I'm like, thank you. Wow. But that was in the 50s, right? He's like, oh no, ma'am, we got a tornado last week. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. So
now he's got to poop real bad.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So now we get to the Chevy dealership. He drops us off and it closes. Like as we're pulling up, the people are pulling away, leaving. The storm has begun. So I just take my kids under this awning. And granted, in their defense, it was very loud. The wind was insane. It was hailing, like a very scary thunderstorm. So my kids start to freak out. And I keep trying to do like the good mom thing where I'm like, we are fine. I've got you. If you're here, you're safe with me. I start telling him the story about those children that were rescued in the Amazon where their plane crashed. They were living like 40 days with like a bag of flour and like a jar of jelly or something. I'm like, you guys, these kids survived 40 days in the jungle with a 1-year-old. You're going to be fine. And then now, granted, we were stuck under this awning for over an hour in this storm. Finally, if you looked at like a time lapse, it would me being like, it's okay, to me being like, shut up. Like, stop screaming and crying that you literally thought we were being attacked by zombies. They thought their life was over and this was it. So finally, I Ubered to a restaurant.
I still think you handle it in a very sweet way.
No,
because if
I was mean.
If it was
I was mean.
If it was me as a kid, I would be in a ditch somewhere in Waco. Like, you know what I mean? As I think most, like I think
I was no.
You're
granted,
even when you
I,
think you're mean, to your kids,
all
you're
right,
very
thanks.
sweet.
I think I was pretty mean, Jamie.
You can sometimes you get a little like. There was a time where we told you needed to get nasty on Southwest when you were getting on those planes and people were fucking getting in your shit about you shouldn't board before other people.
Mm-hmm. They didn't believe I had a disability.
They didn't believe you had MS.
I had to prove it.
Yeah, and there were people who were like, "What's your problem? Like, why do you think you should get on first?" And
correct.
like, and you were like, "I'm sorry." This where you should have been like, "Listen, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Like you should have gotten their face.
I know that was one of those moments where I should have reactivated my Twitter and tweeted them. That's what people do.
You should have taken pictures of those guys. No. Yeah, and posted them on Twitter.
The problem was I
said,
flew Southwest.
Hey,
like,
everyone at YMH, this guy told me I don't have MS and shouldn't get on the plane before him and see what happens to that guy.
Well, now I have people to support me.
Yes.
Before that, I didn't have a whole team of hilarious men to support me in my quest to fight Southwest.
And when we talk about like handling things in a sour way. Like, one example is there was something we called the booger wall at my gym, remember?
Yes.
In LA, which was, there was somebody, when I was living in California, there was a gym in my building, and there was somebody who thought it was a cool idea to like right where you work out, there was a wall, and they would just wipe their boogers on there.
That's right.
All day. And more, or every time they went, and it was just more and more boogers. And to me, there's no sweet way to handle that. Like, you don't go to that person and go like, hey, we really appreciate it if you shouldn't be doing it, because they fucking know. Like, they're a piece of shit. And it's like, I think the way to handle that is like in casino when they catch the guy cheating and they take him in the back and they're like, oh, which hand? I'd be like, which hand do you pick your nose with? I'm not doing this. The people who someone's got to do it. Like, what hand do you pick your nose with? And then they bash his hand with a hammer. And then it's like, hey, have a good one.
That's
because
one way to solve the problem.
Another thing we're gonna do on Not Today, Pal, is at first we were gonna call it What, Where, When, but I have a problem saying that. So I think we should just call it like Memory Lane or something.
Okay.
The boys are gonna Google. We've been friends for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
The boys are gonna Google photos of us and show it to us, and we're gonna try and figure out where we were, when it was, and what we were doing.
I love this game.
I can't wait for the one to show up of my 21st birthday, by the way. That's probably the best of all time.
We will never forget.
Oof.
Hashtag never.
That's rough, guys. That's fucked up. You guys are supposed to be our friends.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I know exactly where this is.
This was me after eating 8 million milligrams of sodium.
Yes. I don't know what you ate, but I know exactly where this is.
I don't know where it is.
Because I got that top at BB. Young girls would remember that store. Okay, so this was the season 2 premiere of Sopranos.
Really?
So probably 2000 or 2001? 2000.
Ding, 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 ding.
At the
Wow.
Ziegfeld?
Ding, 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 ding.
Damn, Jamie. See, you didn't do all the drugs I did. That's not fair.
That's right. That's exactly why. This is an ad to don't do drugs.
How do you feel about
Wait, did you do drugs at this young?
Yeah.
Oh, wild.
But if anytime you see me on Sopranos, I had already started doing drugs. Yeah, I started doing drugs when I was 12 and drinking.
I know the outfit is terrible below. We have baby faces.
You've aged very well, by the way.
Oh,
I mean,
thank
you
you.
don't look that. I mean, what is that? 30 years ago? 25 years ago?
Well, you don't have to tell people how old I am.
Well, we don't know. You were 3 there. You look
exactly. Look at him, such a baby.
Yeah, but really, you look.
You look sharp, Rob. You look adorable.
I was just so
You were already shedding weight there, though.
starting. Yeah, that was before the world really told me what was up. I
Yeah.
was just so hopeful then. I was more sweet. I think we were both sweet in that
Look
photo.
at the stars in our eyes. Look at our.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Do we have another one? Wow. I have no fucking idea where that is. But I can tell you this is very embarrassing. That was the one time I ever put highlights
Yeah,
in
I
my
was gonna
hair.
say, when did you dye your hair?
I put highlights in my hair. It was like, I think it was during like the Dawson Creek era where like that was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wearing like a white t-shirt with a
Yeah.
little sweater vest kind of thing.
2005, 4, 5, 3,
Very close, 2004.
4. Is this at like some club in New York City?
This is.
You look very happy, by the way, which is
I'm
good.
so happy to be hugging you.
Yeah, that's a weird hug that we're doing too.
Yeah.
It's like this sigh.
I think
it's like
we didn't want to pose for this photo. I think we were bothered by somebody asking to take this photo. That looks that way to me.
I can't grow facial hair even now, like on my cheeks, but there,
You've
like
got a little shadow going.
I wasn't even like I would shave every 2 months there one time, and I thought it was like a big deal, Even at like 16, I just couldn't grow facial hair.
Where is it?
This is at Suede.
Oh wow,
Our favorite place.
That's our favorite.
Many memories.
That's our favorite.
That wasn't the night, our famous night there, was it? Our best
first night?
after filming. That wasn't that night.
Oh no, I wouldn't be in a. Yeah, we have
just
some
like some
wild,
event.
wild stories at that place. But the first nightclub I ever went to was that place.
On
And
my
it was-
21st?
It was your 21st birthday, and I couldn't go to nightclubs at the time, or like didn't know. I was hanging out in the park every
'cause
night.
You're 4 years younger than me.
Right. I was hanging out in the park every night, and then the owner said to me, "Hey, if you ever want to come back,"
Shout out.
Love him. Maybe we should bleep his name because I was 16 at the time and we're talking about
I was
that.
going to say, he's the one responsible for all your partying.
Yeah, and he was like, hey, whenever you want to come back. And like the next night I showed up with like 6 to 8 goons, you know, just like
Took him literal.
16-year-old. Yeah, just with fucking weed and being assholes. But yeah, it was very sweet of him. Another thing, like we should address the big coffee cup on the table. So I will always put questions in here, and anytime you want, feel free to reach in, grab one. We could do our first one now. Let's see what you got. I wonder if you could read my writing. My writing is fucking terrible.
That's a good point. What food makes you fart the most?
That was the one.
This is what you were hoping I would say?
No. Here's the deal. I put 10 questions in there, and one of them was stupid. And that is a good omen. Because I swear the rest of them, or we'll take another one after this, and none of them are stupid like that. That's the one stupid one. Wow. That's very YMH.
Okay, we're going to get real up close and personal in this first one. So Rob knows this about me, that my farts don't stink. Let's first put that out there.
Your husband's outside. I wonder if he agrees.
He can attest. Okay. I don't have smelly farts. However, I have farts that come unannounced that I'm unprepared for that are loud. And
Rob does know this about you.
They usually happen at unfortunate moments in my life. So I don't have a food per se that makes this happen to me, but I do have a like gut powder that I like to have whenever I'm feeling like I've been eating bad for a while or come back from a vacation or I feel like extra bloated. I'll drink this gut powder in water for like a week or two to get things like moving and feeling better. And that makes me fart like as I walk. Like, yeah. Like,
very cool.
Just super sexy.
I like that. Fart while you walk. That's what those dwarves were singing, right?
I don't have stinky farts. What?
Nothing.
Oh.
So one of the things I want to show you is your kids, especially the oldest one, loves to play video games.
Yes.
And what if your kid ended up like this guy who he's having a hard time. He's playing video games, but I think it's starting to get to him. I think, by the way, this is some kind of like tournament where it's like Madden and it's like the best people. So it is a little bit of higher stakes, but it's one of my favorite clips on the whole internet, and we're going to use it forever, I think.
Go for it. It's really hard to get fumbles in this one, so he knows he's not going to get the ball back. It's already the fourth quarter. You feel like you're here because of your offense. You stick with it. And it's a little bit unconventional, but now
What is wrong with this game?
you're just struggling.
All right, so right there, he's just having a normal rough time, right? Like anybody could kind of, you could sympathize and be like, oh man, this
If you
guy's...
spent hours playing a game, you can get frustrated like that, sure.
Right, and now the next one, he starts to kick it up a little.
And Tweez fits it in there to the 46. Gonna be just shy of the sticks.
What's very interesting is that Joke was on the TV on the left.
Crazy, dude.
He
What is
was
going on?
He's got a little...
And he's playing right now.
He's playing a
reacting
video
to
game.
his own playing.
Yeah,
Okay.
against another guy, and like whoever wins moves on.
Okay.
You know, so he's getting a little, and then he gets even more upset, I think.
Checks it down to lock
What is
it.
wrong with this game? I've rocked 7 times. Let me get out of bounds.
so he would have liked to catch
Yo,
that.
this game's... Oh, my God. Stop cheating me, man. Just stop.
It's become contagious.
Man, dude.
Did not hold the X button.
My thought is, yeah, didn't hold the X button. My thought is, once you have a beard, maybe...
I am so scared for my children's future because this is how they play their video games. Jack smacks his iPad as if he's going to smack some sense into it. Bo throws his controller. This is bad.
Bad. Do we have another
Do
one?
I need to take away video games from my kids?
How many more? 2 more?
No,
Okay.
This is ruining them.
Annie, do you do this shit?
This is looking
Every
at
gamer
Jack.
does this shit.
You get this upset?
Yeah, it's a normal gaming experience. Yeah.
Okay, wait,
When
what-
you
okay.
lose, it's lag's fault. Yeah, it's
I don't
someone,
get
you know-
mad when I don't solve Wordle.
It was like when you lost that bet for when Annie was playing against Ryan.
Well,
You were sounding a lot like this.
It didn't
guy.
help that you were screaming in my face for 30 minutes straight while I knew I was losing the whole time. But
But this
go
guy has
on.
nothing on the line.
Yeah, then nothing. I'm sure there's no prize for this.
Yo, like this game is so gosh darn bad, bro. Oh, my gosh. Stop.
And he knows he's being
Getting out of
filmed
his
and
head right now.
everything.
Annie, this is cool.
This is normal, man.
Gosh.
This is normal for
He's gonna end
esports,
up in an
dog.
internet meme if he's not careful.
Yeah, he is about to.
And now I understand why this guy got drafted for this show.
Yeah. We got one
He's
more.
good TV.
We got one more, Jamie. I think this is where he's at his end, the end
Okay.
of his rope.
Asking
He's
for a
catching the
punt.
ball 4th and 2 and I can't catch the ball right there? That's crazy, dude.
Okay, no, that's not him at the end of his rope. What that is so when we were discussing segments that I wanted to do on the show, a lot of them pointed towards the same thing, which is just people doing crazy shit and me being like,
That's crazy, dude.
you know? So I want this, they said be careful or he's going to turn into a internet meme. I want him to live on in this show. And whenever we think something's a little nutty, we can,
That's crazy, dude.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think some of the things that like jump off at the beginning to me is like, how come at a wedding, every wedding I go to, there's some woman in like her 50s in the front row filming it with an iPad? Have you seen this? You probably go to nicer weddings. I'm going to like, I'm going to real weddings. I'm not going to like Malibu.
I'm born in 81. No one's getting married anymore. People are getting divorced. We're not
Right.
born
Have
in
you guys
81
seen
now.
people filming with iPads?
I've seen
it's like an
filming in
older person
iPads at
thing.
like kid recitals.
It's insane.
It's
when you
crazy.
see someone filming with an iPad, to me, it's like,
Well, who brings their iPad out unless you're 7?
and to a wedding?
Right.
Like you're
Right.
chilling with and now you have an iPad for the
That's
next
what I'm saying.
5 or 6
my God,
hours
my
of.
phone is too big for my purse.
Yeah, people are a little fucking crazy. Another thing, since this is the first episode of this, I'd like to do this now and see how it changes over time. I want you to do an F, marry, kill with the 3 boys in the booth. So we got Nadav, Zolo, and Eni.
This is so mean to do our first episode.
That's what we're here for,
You
baby.
did this to me on Pajama Pants, which
I
was
did.
our old, but that was like a year.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was like a year in where I got to know people better.
But that's why I want to do this now, and then 6 months later. Listen, we all know Nadav's dead. Jamie, it's fine. Don't
I'm gonna
feel
marry
bad.
Annie because of his hoop skills.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What's a bigger compliment, Annie? Getting married or getting effed?
Getting married or getting effed? Getting married. Yeah.
'Cause
you can F anybody.
Yeah,
But marry, you gotta choose.
Well,
that,
you
know what I'm
can.
saying?
You love strip clubs. What Zolo? What? So Zolo is getting effed.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations, Zolo. I'm sure Cutter, who is Jamie's husband, who's in the other room, is very happy to hear this.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Cut. And then the Dove.
You kind of led her down this
He did.
path,
He
but
did.
it's.
did.
No, it's fine. Like,
listen,
if
we
you want
both-
to do foul play when you set stuff up, that's
We
fine.
both
Then
play
I'll just
poker.
play fair-
I was
fair
going with a
game.
read. I had a read on her.
Yeah.
That
He
this is
knows
what
all my answers before I even open my mouth.
Yeah,
all
see,
the time.
I wish I just had one more drop, which is taps. You know, taps that they play on the trumpet when someone dies. I wish I could play taps for you right now. Maybe we could put that in
Got you on
after.
the next
But
one.
thanks. Yeah, you're a good man, Nadav. Sorry to see you go.
You're great too, Rob. Yeah.
Things can change.
I'm gonna miss
Check back with me in a few
this
months.
life.
I don't know who I'm effing or marrying, but I know who I'm killing. Nadav, you're dead. Nadav's dead. You're
Yeah,
dead,
yeah,
pal.
yeah,
Let's do one more.
Okay.
You're
question.
just doing the kill, huh?
Let's yeah. I'm playing a game called Kill. Nadav, sorry, bud.
Oh wait, this is,
So last thing we're gonna go to is neither of us have watched The Sopranos
in its entirety, correct?
in its entirety. You've watched
I've
more
watched
than me
a
because
few
you watched
seasons.
them during COVID.
I've watched almost 4.
Right. So what we're gonna do is they're gonna ask us a question about Sopranos, and we're gonna keep a tally whenever we do this. And it's gonna see at the end of, we'll do 20, 30, whatever questions, or we'll always find
What
out
do
the
we win?
score. I don't know.
Write
we'll
in
figure it
to
out.
nottodaypalpodcast@gmail.com
And
tell
send
us.
send us videos and voicemails of things that you're going through in your life, and you want us to discuss how you would handle it in a sweet way, how I would handle it in a sour way, and ultimately what we think the better decision is on how people should handle problems in their life.
And also email what you think the prize should be for who wins the Soprano.
Should it be a
Question.
prize or should it be something bad for the person? No, I'm not gonna make something bad for the person who loses because that's
No.
me. I don't know anything about the show.
You
Okay,
get to kill
so
Nadav if you win.
yes, you get.
I
to
have
kill
a
the
terrible.
dog.
I have a terrible memory though. We know this, so it might not be as.
Yeah, but you
like,
watched the show like 2 years during COVID, right?
I have a terrible memory.
Yeah, but
Yes.
it's something I never knew and
Okay.
something you knew 2
Yeah, but
years
you
ago.
remember a lot about filming. I remember none.
Yeah, I remember some weird stuff
Yeah.
sometimes. So okay, we're gonna get our first who knows less about Sopranos question.
Let's see it.
So this one's super fair to both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
What's the name of Meadows' black Jewish boyfriend who she meets at school?
How is that fair to both of us? She
It's
worked with this
completely
person
fair
constantly.
to both of you,
Oh, I see.
and
He's
you
doing a
guys
bit.
both get an equal opportunity to answer.
Well, I know it, so you can go first.
Noah.
Yes.
Bang.
Do you know the last name?
Bang.
Do you know the last name?
No, that's our
Wait,
friend.
that's our friend.
That's our friend.
Wait, is
Jamie.
that? Oh no. But
Bleep,
that's the
bleep.
name,
Hold
isn't
on.
it?
Bleep that last name out.
Yep.
Make sure you bleep the last name out. That's our friend. I'm like, Jamie, what are you? And I'm like, did they name him after our friend on the show? I swear, my whole
Like all
world
of a
was
sudden,
just.
we're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you gotta. That was a very.
Oh no, it's not. It's
That's crazy, dude.
If that was true.
Tannenbaum.
Nadav?
Noah
I
Tannenbaum.
only have the first name here. Hold on one second.
Of course you do. God forbid you knew the answer to the question you asked us. And by the way, this is something I don't love doing, and Nadav keeps pushing it to do it, and he doesn't even
Tannenbaum.
have the fucking
Tann-
answer.
It is Tannenbaum?
It's Tannenbaum.
Tannenbaum.
Thanks,
That
Nadav.
was so
You're welcome,
funny.
Rob.
We're like,
I know, we're both like, I was tripping on mushrooms for 1 second. I'm like, did they name him after our friend and we don't even know?
we never realized it. That's hilarious. Okay.
That's,
Wow. All right. So they're not going to be that hard necessarily. Some will be.
Some will be.
Okay.
You know, I'm coming from both of you guys, like saying like, oh, I've only watched like a little bit here and a little bit there,
Right.
so or not at all.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Since it doesn't make sense to do it the way we just did it, from now on, we both have to write it down and then show the answer because we
Like
have to
Jeopardy.
keep points. Because there, who knew,
Right.
you know, how do you
Right.
keep points? And by the
Right.
way, would Noah be enough? Clearly to Nadav it would be.
It was because he
would.
didn't have the last name.
I was gonna give you guys multiple choice, and you guys just went straight for the name.
Well,
Well,
multiple
of course
choice
she's
is too
going to know.
easy.
She worked with the guy for years,
Yeah.
dude.
No,
yeah,
just one
but like
season.
20 years ago.
Oh, come on. See, that's what Nadav just
I lost my
forgets
virginity
people,
to
you
him
know?
on screen. Literally.
Oh,
like
how
that
was
was my
filming
first.
that? Was that weird?
Yes. It was terrible. I remember I was so nervous. I remember the wardrobe ladies to like, you know, like keep me loose, not pun
Whoa.
intended, like, you know, like keep me like silly and like laughing. Like when I showed up, they had like all these stripper pasties like in my dressing room because you had to be topless. So but you wear pasties. It was very uncomfortable. It was terrible. And I think it was uncomfortable for everybody else as well because I was like the baby girl.
You know what I was thinking about that kind of relates to this is like, what is it like? Because there's no equivalent for a man. What is it like for a woman when you see a picture of yourself and it's like a family photo or something and your nipples are hard? Have you ever had that where like you just, because sometimes you see like
No.
girls' nipples are just hard with just like chilling.
I've never had that.
You've never had that?
No.
Because I wonder what it
I
was. 'cause,
do
like,
have a picture with my father at the Emmys where my nipple was coming out of my dress though.
That's a lot cooler.
And you know, the only reason I know about it is because like those autograph people like always and they used to always
Remember
have it.
I told you?
You told me
there was
that's
one.
right. Oh no, is it you and I in the photo?
No, I think it's just. Oh no, it is maybe
it's
me and
you and me in the photo.
Why do you
because
put
my
your dad as
was
me?
at the Emmy. because,
So weird.
because my dad was at the Emmys that year with me. He was like my date to the
Oh,
Emmys
okay.
that year, and so I remember being like, oh my god, and like my dad was the one that was with me.
And that there's
at that
just no
time.
there's no equivalent to like whatever your boob was out or your nipple being hard because it's like as a dude you're never like, oh wait, I was hard in that picture, you know what I mean, where like sometimes women are not aware of what's going on. The same thing, like I can't be like, wait, my ball was out like on the carpet of the Emmys, like oh yeah, my ball was hanging out, that's a little embarrassing.
Another
Like,
reason
that's-
why it's hard to be a woman
yeah,
because
wow,
you don't have
Way
those
to go.
mishaps.
Way to go. But yeah. But
No,
also
but I've
that's
never
that's a
had a
way for
photo
you to
like
make
that.
some extra income too. Like you wanna start signing that picture for guys. They're paying 10 times the amount where your nipples are in your shirt.
Fortunately, I don't need the extra income right now.
Baller. Yeah, that's why your
As long
cars
as-
don't just
long as
break
you
down
don't-
in the middle of the road.
As long as you don't text with Cutter anymore about gambling.
Yeah. Before we sign off, obviously, I want to thank Tom and Christina
Yes.
for all the hard work they've done to make this place exist where we just get to come and have fun now. And also, you guys, everybody who works for YMH, but also the mommies, the fans of YMH, because the first time we did YMH, I've never seen a more friendly group of people who were so supportive and so
Aw.
nice to us.
Yes.
And that's the reason why we're here now. Because if everybody was like, hey, these guys suck, we never would.
You're totally right.
They wouldn't think, oh, we should offer them a show
I
since
think
everyone
I
hates
just happen to
them.
just come along for the ride. I mean, you speak the mommy's language.
Yeah, but
You know?
I couldn't do this without you. You're the best. I love when you don't know stuff and it's like I'm getting people in the audience's reaction right across the table from me.
Sure,
Instead of having to
sure.
find out, a week later or whatever. It's like
Because
right
probably
now.
95% of the things you bring up to me, I don't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And moving forward, I hope to make that a higher number.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
As
yeah,
I get
and-
older, it will be.
And also, I'm very grateful that I get to do this with you, one of my best friends in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Over 25 years, we've been friends, and I'm really excited for
What's
for
to
the
come.
future. Yeah.
Yeah, since we're toddlers, we've known each other.
Yeah, since that photo, we were
That's
3
right,
years old.
Babies.
How cute.
So cute. That's
Thanks,
it.
guys.